What is up, guys? Bingo here. I'm with the Dual Factory and Ray this week for X2 Drop, our Yu-Gi-Oh podcast we do, talking about whatever we feel like. And despite what's going on in the world right now, we're still trying to stay positive about this trading card game. This week, we're expecting locals to open up soon, at least where we're at, probably sometime next month if they haven't already. And we're just thinking about what we're going to play when we get there, what we're going to see, how Eternity Code's going to affect it, and, just getting excited to play real-world Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. So, Ray, this was your topic idea. What made you want to talk about it?
Just looking at I've just seen a lot of videos on it. I've seen people getting really excited for locals, and thinking about actually going and get to deck up physically also has me excited. I've been playing some Adamanticators online, but that's more of a competitive deck, and while I will have it built, and I'll probably play it for a locals or two when we get back. It's not what I would consider a locals tier deck, the kind of thing that I'd want to run over and over again. So it kind of just got me started thinking about what decks I want to run at locals for more fun play after I run Adamanticators one or two times.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the way I see this is locals are opening up, which is awesome, but we're still not having any regionals or YCSs, So it's it's going to be nice to get back into the highly competitive, playing the decks. But if anyone goes to low tier locals, that gets old pretty quick. So I'm expecting to take Sky Striker, Cosmo, and some other jank over time. But I'm definitely not going in with Eldritch and Adamanticator, because I know for a fact even if I got Researchers, which is the only card I'm missing, I would not enjoy it for more than a week or two. Joe, what do you think?
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you kind of cut out a little bit.
Oh man. All right, Ray, what do you think?
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's why I'm trying to start and think. I kind of want to try Heroes, even though they took a hit with Mally to 2, and I really want to try out that Time Thief list that had the small zoo engine that topped last week. That one actually looked really interesting to me, and I was kind of listening in when you and Joe were kind of theory crafting zoo with Time Thief. So I kind of want to try out that engine, see how it works. It seems like it'd be a really solid locals tier deck.
Definitely.
And I get to swag out and show off my Starlight Perpetua that I got before they shot up in price. So hits all the bases.
I mean, that's enough of a reason to play the deck by itself. But okay, so what do you guys expect to see at your locals? Because as of right now, we all have different locals. So Joe, is yours hyper competitive? Is it mid tier, low tier?
It depends on which one you go to, because I'm down more toward Southern Illinois, which is I'm closer to the Missouri area and stuff like that. So I have a couple I can go to. I know the collector store is the more of a competitive base. So I'll probably see a lot of Eldritch and Adamanticator than when I go back, which kind of sucks because I don't really intend on playing anything super competitive for the time being, because there's no events, because I don't see a point of playing anything meta relevant.
Yeah.
The one that that I've been going to over in Collinsville, it's competitive, but it's competitive rogue, if anything. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of, there's not a bunch of meta strategies. There's people who they'll play rogue decks, but they'll play expensive engines in them, like the Magician's Soul engine or Extravagance or stuff like that.
Competitive mindset, but still rogue.
So you still get the feel of competition, but it's just people sitting there playing for fun. I think the first time I went there, people were playing Cosmo decks. People were playing. I'm trying to think of everything that was going there. People were still trying to play Thunder without Colossus. It was neat. It was a different experience, but that's one side of the river versus the other side of the river for me. So.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some meta. There's 3 or 4 players that usually are playing the most competitive decks in the room, and then everybody else has their tried and true strategies. Now, honestly, there's 2 true Draco players that I think are still trying to play it, and that's frustrating. But outside of that, you got your hero player, your Altergeist, just kind of those mid-range decks. So I'm expecting it to be able to take just about anything. And what I see happening is after a couple of weeks, those really highly competitive players might gravitate towards how we're thinking, where you just want to play something fun as best as you can, because like, what's the point of testing that much for meta, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, you're basically, it's all the people who, like, best way to describe this, like, people who treat locals like the Super Bowl. Like, what's the point? You're not playing for anything.
Yeah, you're playing for
I get it.
Pack or two, you know?
I mean,
for the sweet OTS 13 packs, so you can pull
yeah. I get it. Like, I mean, I remember going to Die Hard games with you and Doug, and you guys were playing full power Sky Strike, and I was playing full power Thunder, and, like, we would get bored of it after a while, but, like, you just wanted to play it because you had it. You know, like that like ultimately, like that's what's happening. You're paying for pennies at that point.
Yeah, but also, we were testing for regionals, because I know when it wasn't regional season, I would play dumb shit, because I just
Spellbook True Draco.
Yeah, I didn't see a point, you know. The best part is that Spellbook True Draco list got me an Ulti Lyco.
Yes, it did. I remember that pack. That was hilarious.
But yeah, like I just want to have fun. Like, I'm definitely one thing that me and Ray talked about last night that I really want to do is kind of like this: what if a banned card came off the list at one? You know, so in order to do that, I need to like think of decks. Like, I might take pure spellbooks and like get a solid build down, and then add judgment to that when we end up doing something like that, where we play a game where I have one judgment or he has one judgment. I want to like build that deck. So I don't know. It's just going to be more experimental than anything, is what I feel.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine, and it puts a little variety back in the game, honestly.
Yeah, because you can only watch so many online tournaments of Adamancipator versus Eldritch.
Which, I mean, kind of sucks. Because, like, if I was going to pick, like, a competitive deck of choice, like, I'm 100% with Ray. I'd play an Adamancipator. I honestly, definitely. I still think it's the best deck. Like, 100%.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Yeah, I mean,
Adamancipator format.
Adamancipator just feels super solid right now because, like, you have... Like, there are hands where you just play Doki... Like, you do get bricks every once in a while. It's not a perfect deck. There are times where you summon a Doki and they hand trap it, and you're just like, well, all right, that's my turn. I'm done. Yeah. But most of the time, like, that deck has... Like, most of your hands can play through 2 hand traps and still build a solid enough board to having your opponent locked out of the game.
It's just all gas.
Yeah, that deck is so good. And, like, honestly, like, playing it more, like, Block Dragon definitely still needs to go. I agree with that. Like, it's super busted. But I feel like the other card that needs to be hit isn't Adamancipator. It's Quackimero Guardian. That card is just so good in that deck. Just free negation. It's a free negate, and it's so easy to get on the board with the Excavates. Like,
yeah, I mean, you excavate 3 times in a turn. You're playing 3 Guardian. You're
excavating more than 3 times. Yeah, because you're hitting Raptite. You're excavating 4 times a turn. So...
Yeah, that's 20 cards. Yeah, your deck gets shuffled, but you're going to see one.
Like, you're going to see, like, 50% of the deck. Like, you're going to see at least one. Like, that, it's insane. That's why I think it's the best deck, like, by far.
Well, that, and it has so many routes. Like, no matter what you're, like, Eldritch kind of has this one strategy, and it goes with that. But Adamancipator can just kind of move how it needs to move, because it's a combo deck, and you can move. There's so many different routes of, like, lines of play you can move.
I also think it plays good old Needle Chief the best, too.
Oh, Needle Fiber? Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody else, like, it's such a power card that everyone else is just playing it and finding the best way to play it, but, like, it fits so well in what that deck's trying to do naturally. And
especially since, like, most of the engine pieces are, like, naturally tuners, too. Like, it's so broken.
And then you got Needle Fiber being a water for Raptite.
Mm-hmm.
Dragonite.
Yeah. It's cool. The deck does cool things. There's some like nice like rogue-ish decks that'd be like actually pretty cool to see right now. Like I actually want to see like the dinosaur deck with the new Archosaur. That'd be pretty cool to see. Yeah. Also, like see what other decks can do with this Gravedigger's Trap Hole, since we now have access to Rafflesia and combo decks and stuff like that. It'll be cool.
Forgot to buy that.
For a locals level, I actually wouldn't mind trying out, like, I know Dragon Buster's at 1, but I wouldn't mind trying out APC with Union Driver just to see what it can do. Like, I don't expect it to be super great, but...
It's cool. Because that's one of the decks I've been playing. I like it a lot. It just sometimes you'll see awkward hands. But I mean, you'll see that.
Where you summon Silver Gadget and it gets ashed, and then you're just done for the game.
Oh no, you impermed my Silver Gadget.
Oh yeah, that's right, imperm. Yeah.
Yeah, like that is a real thing. That can happen.
The one of the decks or two of the decks that I've been messing around with is pure trap tricks because it's neat, and then
Portal here.
and then magical muskets. You know, it's always a fun deck. I like to go back and play, but it's not poised very well in the current meta.
I'm not proud of it, but Doug did watch me try to play a competitive Crystal Bee strategy the other day.
Yeah, it was fun. You built a pretty good board.
Honestly, it felt pretty great playing crystal cards. Now, unfortunately, I do have to sacrifice my teeth to Ray, but we were
Joe,
able
you're
to,
the one who told me to do it. Like, this is on you.
we were able to do infinite negate combo and then get bodied 2 games in a row by some Mech Knight.
It was Mech
Dragon.
Knight,
I have no idea what's going on. I just know there was big monsters on the board, and he put triple Ruby Carbuncle in my hand at one point, and it felt great.
I'm interested to see how Konami pre-reacts to Dragma, whether they give us more support for it to kind of hype it up, or whether they hit stuff on the ban list.
I just really hope that they don't rarity bump the shit out of that deck because it's a nice little supplemental engine. Like we were talking the other day, it doesn't fully synergize with a lot of things, but it doesn't.
Tell me the engine would look gorgeous in Secret though.
Oh, it would. Like I got no problem seeing Ecclesia as a secret and maybe Maximus, but I don't want to see Nadir, Ecclesia, Maximus, and Fleur de Lis as secret rares.
That'd be kind of tough.
That would suck.
That's Zoo all over again.
As much as I like seeing things at high rarity when they come out, I almost would rather have them come out at with one of the cards at high rarity, obviously, because they need something to sell the set, and then have it just decently spread out throughout the rarities, so it's not super expensive. So it's like a $200 core, and then if there's something that ends up being more relevant for the metagame, just rarity bump it in an OTS pack would be how I prefer that stuff to come out.
Yeah, I would just hate to see Nadir be in a short print secret. Like, look at stuff like what was it, Unchained?
Well, we're technically not supposed to have short print secrets anymore with the new printing system. But
yeah, true.
Technically, but you know,
look at Unchained Abomination, or was it Prison? Unchained Prison, the Rhoda, like
Abomination Prison.
That's a horrible fucking card, and it was way more expensive than it should have been for a long time because it was a short print secret.
Secret rare Rhodas, man. They get you every time.
Exactly. That's why I'm afraid Nadir is going to be a secret rare.
Probably will be, but we'll deal with it when we get there.
But Dragma is such a neat engine because it can go in a lot of things well, but it's not like incredible.
I'm actually kind of upset with your guys' testing session on that because it looks really, like what you guys were showing me, it looks really neat. I can see why it's really good in the Necros strategy. Like, that's just free advantage for you.
But speaking on new cards, Eternity Code is it legal this weekend? Technically,
yeah, because it comes out
legal coming Friday.
Yep.
Okay, so it's legal like a week from now.
Yep.
All right. What do you think? Like, there's a lot of good cards in that set. Do you think it's going to really shift the top decks, or do you think it's just going to enhance the current decks?
We've seen Etco play online for a couple weeks now, so I think it's kind of weird that we have our answers so far ahead of time because there's only online play and it's so concentrated in that it adds cards to those decks. Like Link Cross is super good. It extends Adamancipator combos. It's ridiculous. Like, it makes it so you play Metal Marcher, and Metal Marcher just lets you do some dumb stuff. It also puts it's a Wind Engrave along with O-Lion to go with Raptite, so you get that effect if you have Raptite still on the board during your opponent's turn. But it's more of just like an enhancement set. There's not new archetype in there really that comes out. It just gives a bump to a lot of stuff and doesn't really shift anything.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it like right now, just like at glances. And like other than like Link Ross, there's not like a ton of super meta impacting cards. Like there's a lot of neat cards, right? Like so
I'm going to point out access code talker to you.
Okay.
And to say like
Just leave the.
I mean,
there for a minute.
that's an extra deck card that could be used for everyone, obviously. But like, there's a lot of neat cards like Thunder Dragon Lord. That'd be cool for Thunder Dragon decks. If you go back, Deep Sea Aria for the water decks, which is actually surprisingly cheap right now. What else here? The new Machina card for the new structure that came out, so you can run that engine a little bit more effectively. There's the Arch Nemesis cards. Those are really cool.
Don't forget Parallel Exceed.
Yeah, there's Parallel Exceed. I don't know what this trick card does, though.
The water fusion deployment card is pretty good.
The fusion, I was going to say, the Area of the Water Charmers looks really cool. And then you get the Rhoda for, what is it, Infinite Track Heavy Forward? Yeah, we get that card.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool, cool, neat things.
Yeah,
there's a lot of support, but there's
no
nothing...
like, defining archetype, obviously. We knew that, but... the one card you didn't list off is a Ghost Mourner. Now we've seen it experimented with. Do you think that's just to get some testing in, or do you think it's genuinely like a decent card? Because it seems like it's just the last option when you're choosing between Imperm Veiler and Mourner.
It's like Ghost Reaper, honestly, to me.
No, it's not that bad.
No, I think it's a really good card. I think it'll see play in decks that have space for it, that want more negates, like what it's seeing right now. But it's not going to be an auto include. It's just, how small is your engine? Do you really care about what your opponent's doing? Yeah. And then if so, like, that's a card that you're going to play. If not, you're just going to stick to Veiler and Imperm.
I feel like it's just right now we only have like Crow's not worth main decking because it is not very good against Adamantipator.
It's only good against so many decks.
Lancia is out of the format right now. So, like, we have a lot of our traditional hand traps that are just, like, they're not worth main decking. So, if you do want that 12 to 14 hand trap count, like, it's probably going to be, like, the last one you put in.
More unlikely.
But, oh, man, I'm upset because, like, the past 2 months could have been incredible, right? And like Eternity Code is still continuing that. Like, it's a really good set. The game seems like it would be super fun to sit down and play, and like we don't have the events to go to. So like I'm trying to stay positive, and I want to go to locals and bring something I haven't brought before. But I don't know if that's going to continue. Like, do you guys feel like you'll get bored not testing for events and just going to locals every week? Or do you think that's enough for the time being?
I mean, there is kind of a thing of, like, a lot of times the things that made locals, like, really good for me is, like, afterwards hanging out with, like, the homies and going back to someone's house, and, like, you'd test for regionals for a couple games, you'd have a few drinks, and then once you were too drunk, you just play some goofy decks that you both liked. And it's like, you can still kind of do that, but it's just like the testing, the reason to meet up to, like, test for regionals that's coming up won't really be there. It'll just be, let's go get drunk and play our, like, meme decks.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't, like, well, with no events, it makes it kind of hard not to, like, divulge into, like, you know, this is all we're going to do. Because, like I said, because we don't have anything, like, coming up. So, like, that's why I just don't feel the need to play competitive. Now, obviously, like, I still, like, dabble and, like, build, like, competitive decks and stuff like that. But, like, with there not being ultimately a point at the moment, it just kind of it's hard to stick with like meta defining strategies.
Honestly, one thing that would be kind of cool, and honestly, this is a lot of effort. I don't expect everybody to do it, but and it takes coordination with not only you, your local community, and the game store owner to agree to it. But like, you know, GOAT format got really big as a casual format starting out slowly and grinding up. This is kind of the time where we don't have events going, so it may be worth talking to people and being like, you know, we can't really play current, like, we can play current Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's nothing really big to test for it. How would we feel about what we had, topic we had discussed in a previous podcast of just going back and doing, like, previous power formats and building decks for that and playing those at our locals?
Yeah.
Yo, like, 2014 format win?
My locals there's like 5 people that carry around Necros, like full power Necros with them. So I might not be a bad idea to
just some kind of yeah, just something easy to bring up. Be like, hey guys, if we could go back and visit a past format, is there one you guys would prefer? And just kind of try and figure it out with your local community. And if they don't want to do it, obviously it's not going to happen because you need a base there. But if they do and you can find one, like now's kind of the time just to find an old format everyone in your local community enjoys. And, have fun with it. Those decks really aren't as... Obviously, Necros went up, so that's not the truth for that deck as much anymore. But if we're talking, even full power Zoo format or something like that, those cards are pretty cheap right now. Like, you can go back and play a lot of old formats and build a deck for... I would say sub $100 unless you're going for max. Like if you're going for max rarity, obviously it's going to be expensive. But if you're just building a deck to make it playable, like you can build those decks pretty cheap, and it's fun to play a lot of those old full power decks and just see what they can do.
2014 format.
Not everybody.
I know, Joe. I love that format too. Like,
so good.
I'd like to see you convince Die Hard to play 2014 format, right?
Oh, it would be an absolute shit show. No one know what the fuck was going on.
I mean, honestly, a lot of the people who play there, like, there are some newer people, but a lot of people did play during that format and probably still have the cards because, like, those some of those players, if a lot of the people who I remember playing with, and I'm kind of coming back to locals after a while for the first time. It's been a lot of online play for me because I got back into this game and then it kind of immediately got hit with the Rona block of not being able to meet up with anybody. But when I played, everybody kind of had their tried and true decks, and there would be new metas that came out, and there were a few players who would shift with the meta, but mostly everybody just played their same deck no matter what and stuck with it. So,
bro, I'd love it. Be sitting there.
And as long as John's making money off of tournament entries, he doesn't care what we're playing.
He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. So he would be an easy sell. It'd just be finding out what era the community would want to play for my locals, honestly.
With our luck, we'd be stuck in Edison format.
Nobody wants to play that format there except for BLT. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's all. It takes one. That's all it takes.
Nah. If anything, I could get Micah to go with me on 2014 format, so that's 2v1 at the very least.
Well, yeah, any format that Micah can play Watson, he's going to be a fucking fan of. Let's be real here.
Watts or Noble Knights, they weren't good, but they were local. What?
Don't forget Worms. He has a...
No, yeah, he would definitely play Worms.
Oh, man. I don't actually know. Joe, how long was I going to Die Hard? Like a year?
Yeah, a little under a year.
And I don't think I actually saw Micah play a game once.
Because he doesn't play. We've been over this.
Oh.
God, our community sometimes kills me.
It's like, let's buy all this expensive stuff. I mean, I'm guilty of it too during certain lulls in the game. Like, let me buy all this stuff and then not play it.
I am super guilty of buying a bunch of stuff and not playing it. What do I do with the extra money to make it work? Let's buy Crystal Beast cards. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not buy a computer so I can do my own video stuff.
To be fair, I couldn't use that money to buy computer pieces. I have tried.
But you could use it to buy Crystal Beast cards?
Don't ask me how the company card that they gave me works, bro. That's just how it works.
Joe, do you not know how to reroute money through a fucking different system? You just put that company card, you make it a PayPal source so it pays through the PayPal. The card doesn't read that it's being used for being used for a certain purchase. It's funds through PayPal.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Anywho.
Yeah. And anyhow, so Eternity Code's gonna be fun. I think the only one that didn't pick up the stuff from that, or Ray, did you pick up your stuff already?
Yeah, I pre-ordered a case.
Oh
so
yeah, you got a case, so you got everything you need. What do you want to take? I know what the first locals you go to. What deck are you going to take, and why?
I'm taking Adamantipator because I just want to play that deck in person. It's honestly, it's going to be like a one locals deck probably, where it's just like I play it, it's fun, I have fun with it, just being a full power deck, and then like after that, I'm not going to play it for a while because I want to play more fun decks at locals. But first locals back, I'm playing Adamantipator.
Bold of you to assume it's going to be at full power next Saturday. All right, what about you, Joe? The first locals you go to, what are you playing?
I don't know, it's a toss-up. Because I do have, well, most of the weekends off this month. And if the locals does happen to open up, if I get all the cards, I might honestly sacrifice my teeth and just play Crystal Beast just because I haven't played them a long time. And like the new cards are, it's actually a lot of fun to play. I'm not gonna lie to you. After when I was playing it, because like the Rainbow Bridge card and Crystal Bond is actually just like a really insane card.
Yeah, Crystal Bond's nuts.
But if I can't play that, honestly, I might play that Time Thief deck. It looks really good. Or Hero. Sam might actually have been onto something, not playing the Fusion Destiny engine in the deck. I'm not 100% sure on that one though. They all look interesting. It's not going to be like Adamancipator or Eldritch though. Like, I don't want to play the meta right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm torn between Burning Abyss, Sky Striker, and I'm not talking like 3 BAs. I'm just like regular Dante, like rank 3 bullshit.
Like actual BA.
Yeah, like actual BA. And then Sky Striker, or if I actually order Magician Souls, Dark Magician.
Just do it. It only hurts once.
Yeah, no, I'm actually probably going to pick them up here soon and then actually open this box that's been sitting on my desk for months.
Oh, yeah, kind of like I've been holding on to my Megaclopses for God knows how long.
Shout outs to Joe. Gave me 3 Megaclopses. Oh, so maybe I'll play Zoo. I forgot those. Because I put the entire deck together like 2 weeks ago. And I sat down. I'm like, okay, I got everything. Got my Time Thief cards. And I was like, shit, I don't have Megaclopses. So I put it back. I put it away.
I hate you. I actually hate you.
Damn, Joe, those are some tough words.
I sent the book specifically so we could play it.
Yeah, and then Corona, you know.
You could do remote duels. It's Konami approved.
Yeah, but Joe doesn't have his computer.
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
We can do this. That'd be kind of funny, actually.
Do you have a webcam?
I do have a webcam. I'm 100% bringing that heat.
Yeah, I mean, we could. My what's it called? Mouse, or like below my keyboard is the play mat, so it's actually like already set up.
Neat.
But we all know I'm too lazy for that.
We're aware.
All right, so we got like 2 minutes left. What do you guys want to talk about?
Can we talk about how the legendary sauceless French has yet to create any sort of sauce in the tenure that we've known him?
I don't know, man. He did bring up that one question about 1.5 years ago about Ignister sending spell and traps that are now in the pendulum.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
So if there's anyone who's a judge that listens to our podcast, if you can answer our question, can Ignister pop a card that is technically not a pendulum monster, but is in the pendulum zone to spin a card? That's actually been bothering us for a while now.
Ray, thoughts on that question?
Too drunk to give a valid response, but it's an interesting question.
Right? I gotta know.
So, all I heard is we need Draco Face Off to 3 to answer that question.
I'm gonna stab you.
Don't stab me. All right. So we're coming up on time. Ray, you got any final thoughts, comments, blah, blah, blah?
Not really, just looking forward to locals. Always enjoy being on the podcast.
Yep, definitely enjoy having you. Joe, final thoughts, comments, concerns, bitches, moans, complaints.
Douglas French has no sauce.
Piccolo, you have no sauce. No. Hey.
All right, guys. It's been fun. Another podcast down, and hopefully next week we'll either have a ban list or locals that we went to, and we can talk about that. So it should be pretty fun. If you have enjoyed, please remember to check us out every single week, same time, same place, 8 a.m., iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, 10 a.m. on YouTube. And with that being said, I'll see you guys back here next week. Peace out.
Douglas French says bye.